coming up next on BG24 News.
Halloween is officially here, and so is the rain. We'll have a look at the changing in the trick-or-treat times in the area.
A BGSU student has published several books. Find out how you can publish your first novel.
And the school is changing how it notifies students and staffs about emergencies.
Plus, how does weather look for Halloween tonight? We have your Black Swamp weather forecast. Welcome to your Campus and Community Connection.
Wood County's live local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Hello everyone, I'm Danielle Griffith.
And I'm Gemma Schultz. Thanks for joining us. Well, it's a rainy Halloween out there tonight.
And we begin tonight with our Halloween weather forecast. Lacey?
Well, I do have a bit of information to pass along. That sounding throughout Wood County for the weather alert was actually an equipment malfunction. Although we do have a wind advisory tonight for BG. Stay tuned and I'll have a look at that in my forecast.
And this weather is pushing back trick-or-treating for some local communities.
And some kids have to wait a few days before getting their candy. This is due to the rain and mostly the windy conditions. In Bowling Green, the trick-or-treating times are now for Sunday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. Finley has moved their trick-or-treating times to Monday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And Toledo and Perrysburg have both changed their times to Sunday at 6 to 8 p.m. Stay with BG24 for more changing times in the trick-or-treating conditions.
Marketing a book is difficult in this age of technology, but one BGSU student is publishing novels and finishing college. Reporter Alana Nussel speaks with the rising author.
Most students can hardly bring themselves to read their own textbooks, but one student has already written and self-published her own novels. Jamie Crosby, a senior education major here at BG, has been writing her own novels since her freshman year. These include Where to Turn and Finding Lauren.
Recently I found out how hard it is to actually become published. Like, I'm self-published, which is really easy to do. So once I graduate, I plan to work harder at becoming like legit published and finding like a literary agent and a publishing company that will want to distribute my books.
Learning Commons writing consultant Bethany Evans agrees that becoming published is hard work. She says it's important to get as much feedback and publicity as possible.
I think having as many people read your work as possible, getting different eyes on it, giving different opinions on it, whether it's from an English, student or from many different disciplines, I guess is what I'm saying, getting a lot of help when you need it.
Ways that Crosby plans on getting her books noticed include reading at Grounds for Thought, posting advertisements, and setting up tables at the Union. Like anything, Crosby wishes there was an easier way to market her novels.
And the only way that I can do that is by getting more and more feedback. So that's all I really want to do. I would give them away for free if I could, but I can't because they manufacture the books and they have to make a profit.
Crosby plans to graduate and become an English teacher while still pursuing her writing career. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Alana Nussel.
Crosby's novels are all available on Amazon.com. The university's emergency notification system is changing. Alert BG is changing from an opt-in program to an opt-out program. This means students will now automatically be signed up for the notifications. Alert BG started 5 years ago. It initially had more than 10,000 people in the system, and at the start of the fall semester there were half as many people registered. So the university wants to switch to a more effective system. Information Technology Services says that gives time for communication.
From an institutional perspective, we're giving a maximum notification across the organization as quickly as possible to everybody. And I think that's only the fair thing to do. That way everybody stays informed.
Students can opt out of the BGSU website. They can also opt out by not providing their cell phone numbers on MyBGSU. The switch from opt-in to opt-out happens this January.
In community news, a gunman and a woman are dead following a hostage situation last night. It happened in Willard in Huron County. The gunman, Sean Schuer, targeted a Family Dollar store. Police first thought they were dealing with a robbery, but when officers arrived, the gunman had barricaded the doors. Police say the gunman killed himself after shooting a woman in the head. Police believe the gunman wanted to make a statement. A boy appeared in court yesterday after threats directed at Southview High School. 14-year-old allegedly brought a knife and a hit list to the school. His charges include a terrorist threat, and they are considered third-degree felonies. The teen will remain in Juvenile Justice Center until his arraignment.
When we return, one of BGSU's favorite bus drivers is your BG24 Person of the Week.
And we'll dive into the creepy history of Halloween with a popular culture professor.
Plus, your Black Swamp weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I'm here with Professor Jack Santino of the Popular Culture Department here at BGSU. Thank you for joining us today, Jack.
Thank you.
And as you may know, today it's Halloween, so there's
I've heard.
there's a lot of questions up in the air. We just want to go ahead and jump right in. What are some of the origins of how Halloween's originated?
Yeah, Halloween, most people feel, is an ancient Celtic festival. Celts being a European people who nowadays are the Irish and Scottish and Welsh people. And before they were converted to Christianity, the biggest festival of the year for them was on November 1st. It was called Samhain. And it was the first day of winter, first day of the new year, and it was believed that the souls of people who died through the year could cross over into the other world during this period of time. Eventually, the church, centered in Rome, the Catholic Church, decided to make November 1st All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows' Day. And many of the customs and beliefs continued, but now it was the eve of All Hallows, which is called Halloween.
Oh, okay, that's good. And how do you think that Halloween may affect American culture, whether it be good or bad?
Well, I think it affects, it's a part of American culture. I think increasingly we see it being more and more commercialized, and it's become, I think, they say second only to Christmas in terms of the materials that you buy, the costumes and all of that. But I think there's a deeper reason. I think I mentioned death earlier. I think the fact that people get to play around with images of taboo subjects that normally they would never, ever be allowed to dress as. There are places in town here where there are fake gravestones, there are coffins. You would never be able to do that at any other time of year. And I think that's to play with death and to play with taboos, I think speaks to a very deep-rooted need in people.
That's good. And what would be the best Halloween costume that you've ever saw?
That I've ever seen? Good question. Costumes, are so interesting because they range from the ridiculous to the sublime, if you will. And some people say they're wish fulfillments, and other people say it's just breaking taboos and so forth. I saw one time I saw a person, and he was covered in silver paint, and he was dressed as the old Greek god Pan, and it was very striking. Pan is the model for the Christian devil, and the image fit the day in a very striking way because of the idea of evil, but it wasn't evil, it was just kind of exuberant, pre-Christian, celebratory feeling. The other one I've seen 6 people go out together as a 6-pack of beer. So that was fun.
That's good. Okay, now we know that it is holiday time and you've wrote several books. Could you just tell us quickly about that?
Well, I have done a few. I've done a lot of different books on different holidays and public rituals. But I got started first with Halloween. And I put together a book called Halloween and Other Festivals of Death and Life, including things like Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, and some others. And then I went overseas to Ireland, and I spent a year there studying Halloween as it's celebrated in Ireland now. And that book is called The Hallowed Eve. So I have a couple of books on Halloween.
Good. We want to thank you so much for joining us today, Jack. And coming up next, we'll tell you about our BG24 Person of the Week. And of course, we'll have your full Black Swamp weather forecast. Stay with us.
Now, Wood County's live local forecast with BG24 Black Swamp weather.
Good evening, Wood County, and happy Halloween. Unfortunately, this is not the type of weather that we want to see for our trick-or-treat night, but you gotta keep that optimistic view as we do have some mild temperatures. 60 degrees is our high and what we're experiencing right now, and plenty of rain and wind. The wind is coming out of the south at 20 miles per hour, but don't let that fool you because we're experiencing gusts of up to 35 miles per hour. As we go into tonight's forecast, the wind is the big story. We will have the wind coming in around 20 to 25 miles per hour, but as we get later, we're going to have a wind advisory, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., and it's going to be gust up to about 50 miles per hour. So definitely take that into consideration for your Halloween plans. And we still are carrying that rain all throughout the night, 100% chance. So, like I said, take a good look at it because we've had much cooler temperatures than this for Halloween in the past. And as we go into tomorrow's forecast, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a calm day after all the nasty weather that we experienced today. We will be up to 56 degrees, and that sun will peek through a little bit and still have our breeze a little bit out of the southwest, coming in anywhere between 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now, as we take a look out at tomorrow night's forecast, we have a slight chance of some showers late, just about a 30% chance, down to 41, so not even hitting freezing. And it looks like they'll be coming in about 10 miles per hour, those winds will. And now we're going to take a look out at our regional temperatures. And the story for the area is definitely around that 60-degree mark. So like I said, we've had much cooler temperatures in the past for Halloween. Although we have all this rain, it does look like it's kind of passing out of the way right now over to the east. But as you go into tonight, you will see we have all this rain coming here out of the south that's going to make its way up into Bowling Green and the surrounding areas. And for our 5-day forecast, Friday, like I said, it'll be a calmer day, up to 56. That sun will peek through a little bit. Saturday, we just can't get rid of those showers. They'll be hanging around, and we'll have a temperature of about 52 degrees. Sunday into Tuesday, we steadily warm up, and no more showers. So as those trick-or-treat times have changed, it looks like we will have weather that will definitely be nice for that. Very fitting for the occasion, and you won't have to worry about the rain. So like I said, you got to stay optimistic.
Yes, very true.
Well, it may be chilly Halloween, but some girls are dressing like it's summer. Reporter Hannah Hilliard talks about students and professors about Halloween costumes for females.
Typically, college students going out attire is a bit revealing, but Halloween takes it to a whole new level. Costume choices vary for females and males, but women usually opt for skimpy, revealing costumes in college. Women do this for many reasons. Women's Studies Director Lisa Lockford says women do this just to be different.
We break from our tradition, our sort of standard ways of being for just that one kind of night of revelry.
Sophomore Ellie Blaukamp says despite some criticism, the outfits are acceptable.
Everyone else is doing it, so if you're judged, everyone's being judged, so it doesn't really matter.
Student Michael Webster says girls wear less clothing for another reason.
I think they just want to get attention on those days.
Lockford worries college women are giving off the wrong impression when they wear skimpy clothing.
What doors does it open as you meet people? Is it that you want them to meet you as wow? Or do you want them to meet you as you're fun? You're smart. I want to be around you.
The Halloween industry is feeding into the skimpy costume sensation. All costumes come in sexy versions, and now it has become a Halloween tradition, which contradicts girls dressing this way to break a norm.
The choices are so narrow, right? If you're going to go for the inversion of all of those things, why not go for something really wild?
Lockford suggests women should go as someone powerful, and Webster says they will still get the attention they want.
You can still, be attracted to a girl even if she's not dressed provocatively.
Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Hannah Hilliard.
Lakeford says girls should try dressing like female Einsteins or animals that are not sexualized. And now Katie Workey will take our first look at BG24 Sports. What can we expect for the sports?
Well, thank you, Danielle. The hockey team traveled to Ohio State Tuesday night for the second matchup with the Buckeyes. We'll see how that one ended. And there are plenty of things to look forward to this weekend, including some Falcons sports. We'll take a look at all of that and more when we return.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Katie Wormke. The Falcon hockey team traveled to Columbus Tuesday to try and take the second game this season from Ohio State. It was close until the end, but the Buckeyes were out for revenge as they took down Bowling Green 5-3. Senior Bryce Williamson scored one of the Falcons' goals. This gives him his fourth consecutive score in a game. BG is now 2-2-2 and will hit the ice this weekend to take on the University of Alaska Anchorage. The two haven't met since 1988, and this will be the first WCHA conference match for both teams. Now, the men's golf team ended play in Louisiana at the Quail Valley Invitational. Tuesday was the final round, and the orange and brown finished 4th out of 9. Standout freshman Brett Rinker placed 6th individually out of a total 47 golfers. This meet wrapped up the fall season for the Falcons. In MLB news, the Boston Red Sox are your World Series champions. The Sox and Cards battled in Game 6 last night. St. Louis just could not get those bats going, scoring only 1 run in the game. Boston would go on to score 6. Shane Victorino batting 3 for 4 last night with 4 RBIs. David Ortiz was named the MVP, though, hitting a .688 average in the series.
The Red Sox clinched the championship title in a 6-1 victory for the first time at Fenway since 1918. Now moving back to some Bowling Green sports, the Stro will be overrun with volleyball and hopefully a few trick-or-treaters tonight. The volleyball team hosts Miami University while kids can participate in some Halloween fun. Kids can come dressed in costume for free admission while BGSU student athletes will be handing out some candy. Meanwhile, the volleyball team will be battling for a win in a MAC matchup. BGSU is 1 win behind first place in the MAC East. Game time starts at 7 along with the festivities. Well, this weekend will be a good one to catch some Falcon sports. Again, the hockey team will host Alaska Anchorage Friday night with game time set for 7:07. On Saturday, the MAC championships will come to BG for men's and women's cross country. Both meets start at 11 a.m. Men's basketball will play in an exhibition game against Malone starting at 2 p.m. at the Stro. After that ending, women's basketball will take the court in their own exhibition game against Tiffin. Staying at the Stro, this one will start at 4:30. And later that night, the Falcon hockey team will be back for the second round with Alaska Anchorage. Skates will hit the ice at 7:07. We also have some men's soccer and women's volleyball traveling to Kalamazoo to take on Western Michigan on Saturday. We will have scores, highlights, and more for you on Monday. That is all for BG24 Sports today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for game updates at twitter.com/BG24SportsNow. Until next time, I'm Katie Warnke. We'll be right back.
Driver Mr. Rich is one of the friendliest people at the school. Reporter Dominique Hicks introduces us to the favorite bus driver.
How's everybody doing today?
BGSU shuttle driver Richard Van Horn, or Mr. Rich as the students call him, started working for the BG shuttle service in 2002. Prior to working for BG, the 67-year-old Detroit native worked for Ford Motor Company for more than 35 years.
I decided to do something else, and I got my CDL, and then Ron told me about the job at BG.
Mr. Rich says he loves connecting with the students and making sure that their day is going well. Student Crystal Gator says Mr. Rich has always been her favorite shuttle driver since her freshman year.
Definitely welcoming. He's one of the only ones that'll actually engage in conversation with you, so he's really cool.
Earlier this year, Mr. Rich went under an open heart surgery. He says he was overwhelmed by the support he received from BG students.
A lot of the students would, on Facebook, would be, send me a remark about how you're doing and my prayers are with you and everything else. So that made me feel real good.
4 months later, Mr. Rich was back in action like never before. He says if it wasn't for the support of the students, he probably wouldn't be here.
I mean, that's the key to the whole thing. Our students are the most important thing at this university. This is the reason why we have a university here, is because of the students.
Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Dominique Hicks.
Mr. Rich has more than 4,000 friends on Facebook. His Facebook presence began when 2 BGSU students created his fan page in 2006.
So we are just gonna go ahead and enjoy this Halloween and hoping the rain will stop. What can we expect, Lacey?
Yes, I mean, it's a good thing the trick or treat has been moved, because tonight we have that wind advisory and we're looking at upwards of 50 miles per hour wind gusts. So that's pretty heavy wind. And then tomorrow, it looks like we're going to get a break, have that sun peek through a little bit, and then throughout the weekend, we'll just experience a slight warm-up. And like I said, for Monday night, Sunday, or even Tuesday, any of those reschedules, that's perfect. And all those little kids can get out there and go trick-or-treating, and that'll be fun for them.
Yeah, that will be fun. Thankfully, it got moved. If it didn't, that would have been not so fun tonight.
Hopefully they can all head out to the Stro, though, and
yeah, trick-or-treating. Yep, that's perfect. That's all for BG24 News tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow for our exclusive look inside the Haunted Hydro.
Stay tuned with us via our website at bg24news.org, on our social media networks, facebook.com/bg24news, and on twitter.com/bg24news.
Have a great night, everyone, and be safe this Halloween.